Early spring, and so we do need to do some pruning of the fruit trees. And so I'm going to be doing apples, figs, peaches, plums, and olives. Something I've never done before. Well, I'm going to try. There has been some early pruning parties over the last few weeks at my house. I have a big pile of these branches that came from this tree here, where the branches were hanging over my truck and dropping sap all the time. And, you know, it's on my side of the driveway, but my neighbor next door, it's her tree, but she doesn't care for it. But it's like $1,500 to get it removed. So, yeah, we're not doing that. But so we just cut some of those branches off. But here they are. What are you doing today, Maureen? So, like I said, the plan was to go and do spring pruning to my fruit trees, which it's not, you know, most of my fruit trees, they're not like big and established. It's like we're going to be, you know, pruning off little twigs because they're not full. But I think the pruning will actually help them do better this summer, or that's my hope. But my daughter told me that there are free wood chips coming today at the end of the day. And so this is the place where we put the free wood chips when they come. Over there, it's not big enough. And so I need to actually get all of this wood bucked up and set aside, which I can use for my Furno oven, which that's fabulous. But I need to get it done right now. And so hopefully this won't take me super long. I have no idea. My daughter is going to come on our lunch break, maybe help move some branches like over to there. And we did kind of say, well, maybe the wood chipping company will actually chip these other branches for me and just throw them onto my boulevard, which would be fabulous. I've got my pruners for small things, but I am going to be using my Saker saw that I got from Saker. Because it's like, yeah, I'm not a chainsaw kind of girl, but this little one that's battery operated is going to be great for me. So I do love my Saker saw just because of the convenience. I'm going to cut them fairly, not too long, because I wanted them to fit in my Furno oven. Awesome, thanks. I think we're getting a little loose on the chain. So I found that my chain had come out a little bit, so I think it needs to be tightened. I'm not sure how to do that yet. But we're getting pretty close to getting this one here done. There, got him. So good, I got it. That's a great piece for my Furno oven. Awesome. So that first log, I was having a lot of trouble with it because I kept noticing that the chain kept coming out. And so what I did is I went and actually just replaced the chain. I do believe there is a way to pop it out and tighten it. It just seems that it's gotten too loose. So let's go work on the big log with this new chain, see how it works. Probably not best to do it right there. Let's back it up a bit. Yeah, so that really was what the issue was just that the chain was too loose, but that just came off just so easy. Yay! We've got a nice little pile here that we're gonna work on. A lot of these branches have this kind of, these markings on them, which is weird to me. Like they're weird scrapings. You know, this one right here also has it. There's just a few here, It's very, very odd to me. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Perfect.
just changed my chipper blades for this job.
It's
so
beautiful.
The wood chips are really nice and small.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, this is just, you've just,
Yeah, do you want to move forward a bit? And then that way he'll drag them. Oh, that smells good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
wow, I didn't notice it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's all of it. Nice.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
That is really good.
That is so good, and it smells so good.
So both batteries on the Sakers are done. I only have 2 plugins. I'm going to let those charge. So in the interim, I've moved around some of the wood chips. And why don't we go and start doing the back pruning, like the job that we're supposed to do. So let's go do that while we're waiting for the Sakers to charge. So these trees here, these are California lilacs. And they are just huge. They were probably another 1.5 feet high, and you know, they came way out here. And so my gardener came and pruned them, because deep inside there, if you look over, there is a rose bush, which he also pruned. So this was just out of control. And yeah, you know, was this a really good idea to put this hedge up here? No, it wasn't. California lilacs grow 40 feet tall and 40 feet wide, and you have to actually prune them at least twice a year. And so he got in there, and I have 5 here. Each one is, you know, I've got 5 bushes and 5 rocks, and they're all here representing my 5 kids. And so, yeah, you know, it was just supposed to be this cute little hedge. And I said, oh yeah, no, I'll keep it controlled. It grows exponentially all the time. It is, if you do need a living hedge, you want to get a California lilac, and they smell fantastic. And then the carnage on the ground after the flowers is just all blue. They're beautiful. But it's like, yeah, Maureen, you're just a bit of a weirdo on some of the choices that you have made in your life. That being one of them. But we are going to get to go do some pruning here. So we're going to start with the Espalier tree. And again, my gardener, when he was here pruning, I said, okay, show me what I need to do. This tree has 3 different tiers of apples, but it got out of control and it went way up there, and it's not supposed to be. And so he is encouraging me not to completely prune it right down to nothing, but to get that under control. So let's have a closer up look. So we have these things that are water lines, and so these all have to go. And I do believe that where we have these little kind of nodes, that's where the apples are going to show up. So down in here, so we wouldn't want to be touching those, but any of these long water lines, we do want to take them out. But as I look up, it does seem to be a lot of nodes on there, and I go, do I really want to cut that down? But it's just like, it's so flippin' tall. It's way up there. So I am going to start here and close to it, but you want it on an angle. But we want to get all these water lines out. My pruners, they pinch back. So we just want to take all these water lines off just above. You know, he did say, you know, it's like, watch that I'm not going too far down. So I'm hoping that I do it right. I'm a jazz and blues singer. I'm trying to learn how to do this stuff. So we'll start on this one here. I'll take that one off. On this one here. Okay, and then this also has to be reset, because what, Lulu? You think I have something for you. It's just branches. It's not for you. It's not. So all of the branches, I need to actually take my posts and bring them out farther, because the Espalier tree is going farther. So I am just going to stay focused on this one, and not, because there's these branches here, but they're from the one down below. Whoops. have a feeling that this branch here probably should get taken off, but again, I would say that these are probably spurs that will grow the fruit. I probably should have taken notes from the gardener. I just know, you know, you want to make air throughout and stuff like that. Oh, here's another one that I missed. And I think that half is done at this point. But it's like, I think this guy here, you know, I probably don't really want him. But when you see these, it's like, that could be apples. I don't want to take those off. But let's just continue on.
Yeah, so when you're bent over, Sadie likes to be up high. And so here is Sadie on my back while I'm working. Not sure why, but she likes to be up on my shoulders or my head, as you've seen in the past.
Now we've got all those water lines off. I didn't take my big pruner and prune the top off yet, but I think I still will. But it is looking good. I think there might be one left. All right, so let's attempt this fig tree. Fig tree, I'm probably gonna be less kind to it, but any branches that are kind of going in between, we want to cut those off, the cross ones, so that we're getting airflow. But I also want to have the path. The path comes here to lead to the bench. And so this fig tree is new to my home, and I bought it in remembrance of my husband because he did love figs. I used to have a big pine tree that knocked down the fence, and it was like, okay, it has to go. And so I wanted to have a fruit tree here. And this bench also is a memorial to him. And so that's, you know, what I had created when I first started. But then when I now have a garden here, it's like, well, the fig tree does not work with having a garden because it is going to be a very, very shaded garden. I could put in brassicas and things like that, but it also makes it difficult for us to get around to it here. So I am going to just be lopping off a lot off this tree. They're pretty, I do believe they're pretty hardy. There's a lot of suckers on the ground below. I think this branch, even though we had a rat come up in here a couple of years ago and it broke off the branches. And so we had tied it to itself to support it, but it's like, I don't think I need it anymore because this is healed. Have this last little bit here that it's too tight, and that's one of the other reasons why I needed to get this blue tie off, is because it's starting to dig into the wood here. So it was time to let it go and get this off. So I don't have my little knife, so we're just gonna do a quick, that was getting tight right there, so not the best for this tree. I think we should take you off because you're gonna hang low. There we go. So that's better. Oh, this all looks dead, so I could just cut that off as well. So looking pretty nice. You know, I have no idea if I'm doing it right, but this is what we get. Now we're gonna attempt to work on the plum tree, which I repotted, or my son helped me repot it, but this is a plum tree that I grew from seed. And so I do need to do some pruning on it as well. It hasn't fruited yet because I do know it takes quite a few years. But again, you want, well, here this branch doesn't even look very healthy, so at this end here, so we're gonna take him off. But any of the ones that are kind of crossing in and through, we want to take those down. So this guy, he is crossing over and through, so we'll take him off. And let's just see. Well, some of these are just actually even too tall. I don't want this tree to grow where I can't reach it. So a lot of the top is going to come off here. Just like that. Oh yeah, and I think he said any of these ones, this down here, these suckers, they also need to come off. So we're gonna just take them right down right here. I need my sharper pruners. There we go. And he's just caught, so he can go down there. We just finish him off. And then these two here, they don't need to be on there. Even though we repotted this in this bigger pot, it's still, the pot ended up splitting. So I'm going to have to, again, get another pot or MacGyver it. This is one thing that's really interesting to me with trees. They have all of these spiky spurs on them. Like, and these are deadly. Like, they're super, super sharp. There we go, another one. And the last one here. There we go. A little bit more on it. So those 3 branches can come off. Now, it is very tall right now, and I can stand in the garden bed to help do this section here. But I think I'm going to, well, definitely take off of this one. Do I want, yeah, no, I should lop the whole thing. And then these branches, and everybody's beautifully flowering, which I just like, thank you. You know, it's getting its leaves and stuff. But I need to have it more controlled because it is getting so big. You know, eventually I will have to get it into ground, but I'm trying to buy some time. I am just gonna lop it here. I really should have my good ones, but these ones were the ones that were, whoops, just about booked it. And this one here, I don't know that you're gonna be able to cut it. Oh yeah, and it's right above my head. And then that, I'm just gonna have like daggers come right down into my head. Yeah, I think we'll just say no to that. That one. It's not a nice clean break. There we go. So now more of the branches are out, but this one will have to come down a little later when I have I've got longer pruners that can go up higher and they're sharper. So that's 3 trees down. We are doing good. And this is a rose bush. And that rose bush, he probably needs some lopping, but our focus is fruit trees, Maureen. All right, this is the second load of lumber, and so we're done. We got a nice stack of wood that we've put in here, along with the wood that's already drying. Next we could do the olive, but it is very, very full, very, very big. And it is supposed to be cut in the goblet style, but look at it, it's just such a beautiful tree as it is. But you'll probably get more olives if you prune it, Maureen. You really should try, you really should try. We're gonna go over and attempt the peach. Now the peach tree, it's not looking the best. The gardener, he said there is some sort of disease, and really I should be, you know, cutting it from down here. I don't know if anything can be done to repair this. It does have, I think, a blossom or 2 on it. Yeah, I think there's a little pink one there. He looks good. But this branch here is looking pretty sad. So I'm gonna cut off what looks sad for this one, because your peach trees are supposed to be pruned slightly different. Many of the other trees you are supposed to kind of do it in the goblet style, but none of my trees are at that size except for the olive. And so we're gonna just take off. Yeah, this doesn't have anything on it. I think I'll just cut him here. So mostly this is just trying to do a little bit of maintenance of, you know, please don't die, please don't die. Yeah, that looks okay. And he just again said, you know, these cross ones where they're crossing in. So this guy would need to go. But, you know, I don't want to really do too much to this one because I would like to keep it alive. And then right next door is the fruit salad tree. And now this is, it's supposed to have 4 fruits on it. I do believe it was supposed to have prune, plum, nectarine, apricot. It went through some very bad weather a few years ago and I thought it was all dead. And then the plum seemed to come back. And then last year it seemed that we had apricots. So again, you're looking for whatever's crossing in, not that there is much because they're so spindly. I think you're done. You are done. So I think we will take you out, but we'll need the bigger loppers. Yeah, there you go. And another little piece of it here. So I think what I just took off, this one is the nectarine, but we haven't seen any nectarines. Also, when you do get your fruit trees with these little tags on them, you know, they're pretty narrow, but as the tree grows, you do want to make sure that you're loosening them. So just like in the back where I had that blue twine because it was starting to cut in, these also will cut in. I don't know, you look good. You look dead, so let's just cut you right off here. That's just a sucker from the rootstock, but I don't see any life on it. Yeah, that's pretty, yeah, they're all just breaking off, so we'll cut that one off in the bottom. There we go. Anything that's kind of dead looking for me. This one's got huge spikes on it. I guess I don't need to hold this guy anymore. I just let the branches go to the ground and they can decompose. What's happening for you up there? Do you have some more sproutings? Maybe we'll cut you here. These daggers are like 3 inches long. Oh no, this one is 6. That's pretty impressive. I think I'll let you go a little longer because you might be trying to leaf out, so we'll let you leaf out. All right. Shall we do the olive tree? When I've seen people do their olive trees, they cut it way back and everything that's in the center gets lopped off and they get pretty spindly looking. They lop off a lot, and so I almost think that I should be doing the same and kind of making that goblet. So I'm gonna need the bigger loppers. All right, we're coming down. I did do the back and kind of got the ones that are low to the ground because that's also another important aspect, ground stuff. And I do see there is a fair amount of ones that probably are dead down there. So I'm gonna lop them off. I had it on time lapse, but I guess the new update with my phone, you have to do a pre-focus. So it's all blurry. Let's take you off as well. Now there seems to be, I don't know much about growing olive trees, and this is a Spanish olive. We've got our main root stem, but then I've got quite a few hefty branches, and maybe I should have specifically, when I was researching about it, is to look at specifically Spanish olives, which I think I did. Yeah, so there's some branches that don't have a lot of leaves down here. So we'll get those ones out of the way. So a little bit less susceptible to the ground. This olive tree is my best olive tree on the property. The other ones are in pots, so they do not look this great. Let's have a look. Okay, so I need to do work on the front there and the side, just again to lift it off the ground. This mound, I'm not going to remember the name of this shrub that was on here. You know, I'll probably remember at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's one that, you know, you usually see it near office buildings because it's really low maintenance. And this mound was covered in it. And I would really like to have another ground cover here, low maintenance, something that's drought resistant. I don't think I'm really making the goblet like I should, hey? I just don't want to cut it all off. But you know, now I got a big gaping hole there. So maybe I should just go take out those other ones and we'll just have a half of a goblet. I certainly hope that I am, whoops, not making big errors here. So we'll take you off and we'll take you off. These ones I do have to compost because there's just so many of them. Oh well, let's just take them all off. Yeah, let's just be bold, Maureen. Be bold and chop. There we go. Kind of sort of a goblet. Oh, now I got this guy here. He's in the center. He's standing up, right? Okay. Now let me come back down the hill. Yeah. An arborist I am not. Yeah. Well, because I think we're still a little bit bulky right here, hey? If I just take this guy off, it'll just... Not that you can see it, but now we got a real gaping hole there. Woo! I'm gonna stop myself from doing this. Feels like I'm butchering my tree and it's just gonna be awful. But I encourage you to subscribe and follow along so that you can see the updates as the summer progresses with this olive tree. I thought I would take you in the back and show you the other olives. They are not able to make goblets with either because they're in pots and they're not very bushy, but we'll do some pruning. This is a larger fruit olive and he is in a tall pot. He's kind of sad out here. I did just do a pruning. It had a few, dead branches on, so I took them off. Looked a little bit like this one here, but it's, you go, yeah, no, no gobleting there. Well, I guess I could lop off the very top. This is another Spanish olive. It's older than the one in the front, so it really makes a difference having it in a pot. That it just doesn't get to grow as much. This one in particular, or it's the other one that I'll show you, I think it had almost died with one of our cold snaps. Here's a piece that we can take off. Little piece. Not much to prune on this, unless I just go ahead and take this part off here. Here's another, you're not alive. I could just lop this piece off here, it's just going up to here, and make it more of a bush. What do you think? Let's do it. Yeah. I'll just take him off right here. Then it's just this kind of smallish. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Let's go look at the last one. Kind of feel like this is my first olive that I've ever had. We're talking it's probably 5 years old. Again, nothing like the front one. I think it makes a difference of it being in a pot. So I think I might just do the same thing where I'm gonna go ahead and take it down and then just cut off any branches that are dead. So I think we'll go right here and just lop that off. And then there's just a few branches that are no leaves on them. One of them, it was either this one or the last one that when we had that cold snap, it didn't do well. And I thought it was actually dead. Oh, you got a few leaves, but I think we're just gonna go ahead and take you off. There we go. Yeah, maybe, well, you see, it's like, they tell you, take this off because it's crossing, but it's like, it's not crossing to stop airflow. But I don't know, maybe in the future it does. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at that for our pruning. Well, this jazz singer is hoping that she did the right thing with pruning some of her fruit trees. I still have the elderberries to prune, but again, super small in pots, and I'm going to need to take care of the lavender. So I hope you'll subscribe and follow along so that you can see the little updates about what's going on in the yard. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. God bless. And I sat down, and who has joined me but Sadie? Yep, you stepped up. Hello, Sadie. Hello, Sadie.